Live from WMFG, the evening news. Mandy, what's an MFG?
An MFG is a multifamily group. The idea that behind the multifamily group is that when this man named Peter Lacker, he worked in an inpatient psychiatric unit. He realized that when families came together to visit their family members on the unit, the families would connect with and get to know each other, and many times provide the needed support that these families needed to support each other. Lacker, along with Dieter, built the modality together, officially founding MFGs. The idea behind multifamily groups is that by bringing these families who are in similar circumstances together more formally, they receive not only the support of others going through the same thing, but also are able to learn about the disorder or disease that is affecting their loved ones. So here's the lowdown. Prior to starting a group, 3 to 6 weeks of joining, where the families participating in the group meet in a single family, with a practitioner, getting to know each other and building rapport. There is then a 4 to 6 hour workshop in which families meet each other and learn about the illness, family guidelines in the group, and some of the problem-solving techniques that would be used. When the group starts, 12 to 16 weeks of weekly sessions begin, and then facilitators guide the group, just making sure that families are remaining supportive of each other. In the first group, families get to know the positive aspects of each other's lives. The illness is not addressed in that first group. In group number 2, families discuss how the illness changed their family. And then in ongoing groups, the subjects depend on the issues raised by the families within the previous group sessions. So the next question would be, who are these MFGs for? Well, one of the best things about MFGs is that they apply to any family who has a family member with some kind of an illness, mental illness, physical illness. Somebody could have cancer and their family could go to an MFG. Isn't that great?
That is. Let's talk about some of the principles that are behind these multifamily groups. There's many things that they're looking for, the families and the individuals who are suffering with these chronic conditions. One of them is that they're looking for a decrease in relapse and rehospitalization rates. They can do that by meeting confrontations in a calm and patient manner, and avoiding criticism and adjusting to the stimulation levels that are happening in the environment around the individual with the chronic condition. They're looking for an increase in functioning in their home and in their community, taking one step at a time when problems arise. Paradigm shifts, going from an illness-based we and them adversarial perspective to a strengths-based collaborative approach, where families, patients, and professionals are the key players in promoting rehabilitation. One of the techniques that's used is what's going well and what could be better. They're also looking for strong support systems. They need an extremely strong support system to where members are able to maintain that sense of perspective and an emotional balance in the face of such an emotionally devastating illness. Connecting with people who have common challenges helps to normalize the experience and provides an opportunity to anticipate situations and cope with them more effectively. MFGs are looking to create a non-stigma-based culture. One therapist and one family are not enough to create a culture. To do this, we bring multi-families together, creating a culture where the client and the family are central to that care. Using consumers, families, and clinicians working together towards recovery is a principle that's very important to multifamily groups. Depending on the severity of symptoms, the person that has the chronic condition, such as schizophrenia, will need varying degrees of supervision, constancy, and care. This requires cooperation and knowledge on the part of all the key players: the individual, the family, their natural supports, and also the professional supports and community members who surround them. We're looking to decrease the day-to-day stress of the individual and the family. The first year of multifamily groups are devoted to the creation of a calm, warm, low-key environment creation in the home where the high-intensity activity and critical and confrontational interventions are kept to an absolute minimum. This will help to decrease our relapse happening. In the second year, the goal is to gradually and progressively raise the functioning levels. After we've spent that first year in creating a calm environment, we're looking at setting goals to where we can increase our skills and be more contributing to the community around us. One of the key factors is also socializing. We want these families to connect together, as Mandy stated earlier, with the families who were connecting in the mental institutions, that they can then talk about something that is not the illness. Many clients who have schizophrenia also forget how to be social. And so this is helping them to rebuild a diminished skill. It's connecting them with those around them. And last but not least is education. Multifamily groups provides an opportunity where the client, the family, and all those who are surrounding them to be educated, not only about the illness and the symptoms, but also on how to best work with them. The family intervention model suggests that talking about symptoms, trying to correct delusions, and trying to understand the underlying meanings of thought-disordered conversation are all counterproductive to our work. We are looking at bringing these families and individuals together and building upon their courage and skills and strengths against a common enemy so that they can have a realistic hope for the future. Multifamily groups are an open group that work best in an environment that's open and have chairs in a circle so that everybody is on equal footing. They begin by socializing. Again, we're working on those social skills. Step one would be to talk about what's going well and what could be better. This is where we start to define the problem or goal. Defining the problem and goal are worked on by the family and the highly trained clinicians. Step number two is to list all possible solutions. Each member of the group gets to participate in this, and all ideas are good ideas and are shared. We want to have at least 10 possible solutions on the board before we start looking ahead. When we have those 10 solutions, step number 3 is to discuss the advantages first, and then the disadvantages for each solution. The family, the highly trained clinicians, and the other group members are each giving ideas on why they think a certain idea will or will not work. Step number 4, choose the solution that works the best for the situation. We want to have a problem that's solvable in 2 weeks that is attached with the feeling of emotion so that we can have motivation to accomplish that idea. Step number 5 is to plan how to carry out the solution, and do it in detail so that the person who's picking up that idea will know exactly how to carry it out. And then, of course, step number 6 is to come back together and to review how that implementation took place. We are looking for a universality so that all families will know that they are not alone. We are looking to instill hope so that families can learn, change, and grow. We're looking to empower individuals and families, help them to care for themselves, and then also help other families along the way. This helps their confidence to grow. We're looking to have families accepted just the way that they are and to build friendships with other families who are struggling. We're looking to model behaviors and teach them how to problem solve. And we're looking to try new ideas out in experimenting just what will and will not work. By having families participate in multifamily groups, they are showing an increased commitment to change. They want things to be better and they're determined to find solutions. We're now going to cut to Babs, who's out on assignment. Babs.
Hello there! I'm live on assignment out in the field for WFMG, and I've got some really exciting new discoveries out here on theoretical models for the MFG, the multifamily group. As you already heard from Misty and Mandy, this is wonderful stuff. Now, looking at some of those theoretical perspectives is quite fascinating. Foundations for, what I'm finding out is the foundations for MFGs are, they include boosting social network size and support for families so they can benefit from sharing their experiences with others. There's also some foundations in being able to be creative, problem solve, challenging situations with each other and knowing they're not alone and having that support like Misty said. But then we're also looking at some influence that's driving the formation of MFGs that's come from the McFarlane model. McFarlane demonstrating decreases in the relapse prevention demonstrating decreases in, excuse me now, and I'm on assignment, rehospitalization and relapse prevention strategies increased. There's a broad range of literature out there covering all sorts of MFGs for all sorts of different challenges. Mandy kind of touched on that when she did her overview. Depression, anxiety, schizophrenia, anorexia, bulimia, sexual abuse, domestic violence, all sorts of different literature out there. And it all focuses on combining psychoeducation and behavioral family therapy in a multi-family format. I found a couple of studies that were fairly interesting. One was conducted by Xian and Wong back in 2007, and this addressed some multicultural concerns regarding MFG interventions. They took, as it turns out, 97 individuals in China and their families coping with psychosis in an inpatient facility. And that was a randomized control, oh, excuse me folks, this was 42 patients, randomized controlled trial, randomly assigned to psychoeducation and what we call standard psychiatric care. The levels that were reported, significant reductions in stress levels reported for family members, especially concerning the extensive responsibilities of caring for their loved ones. And then a reduction in patient rehospitalization. And this was better outcomes found for individuals who participated in that psychoeducation as opposed to standard psychiatric care. Another study conducted by McDonald, that was the 97 patients in inpatient facilities. Individuals this was a 2-year intervention, and individuals were able to access more outpatient interventions after participating in the MFGs after that 2 years, as opposed to the standard psychiatric care. Also, I can't help but wonder, now that I look back at all my social work education, if some of the MFG approach to serving families is also rooted in systems theory by Bowen. Looking at the complexities of the family system, including those multi-generational processes, how people can function both apart and within their family structure. It's important, folks. It also addresses supporting people to make more positive and flexible transition both within and outside the family structure. I don't know about you, but that sounds like Bowen, folks. And I've got to get back to my assignment, so thanks for watching this newscast, and we'll see you down at WMFG next time, folks.